I've got one of those cards that you just want to send for no reason whatsoever. Make your day sparkle. These are the best kind to receive, I think, don't you? We are going to be using several dies to create this one. The Pinwheel flowers from our Finishing Touch range. We're using the decorative die from the Ella. Just the sentiment here from the Shadow Box collection called Celebrations. Creating a frame with the double stitched Hexagon Nobles. And we're going to be using the stitched square pegboard outside edge here, and I'm going to show you how we'll use that. Okay, so I think I'll start there. The pegboards have these extra frames around them, and I'm just going to use the two largest ones here. Tape them into place. Just get them centered nicely on the card. Space them equally. There we go, and I'm going to add one more piece of tape to hold them nice and even. Oops, it's actually moved a little bit. There we go, let's try that. Okay, and if you can tip it just a hair bit, it's easier to make it go through. It's a big die, so there we go. Bit of pressure on this one. Oh, pops right out. Exactly what we needed there. Let's just take these apart and put them back onto our magnetic sheets. We can use that for later. Now this is the piece I wanted. Even though that creates a frame, what you can do is nip this apart and take a part of it, and it gives you an absolutely perfect little border. Now I've gotten a piece of coconut white card, put a little bit of teal on the bottom. I'll give you a quick measurement on this. Just under 5.5 inches wide and 6 5/8 tall, and then the teal portion of that is 2 inches tall. So what I want to do is just create a little border there between those two pieces. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the center of this. And you've got the perfect little stitched border there. We'll trim away the excess bit. Get that into place. Bring my scissors in. There we go. Okay, give that a second to set up. So what I've done next is I've cut the Ella using the decorative outer die without the cutting edges to create a little bit of a beautiful pattern. I've got a piece of coconut white with some sticky adhesive on it. I'm going to peel that back and remove the backing paper and expose the adhesive. Put that down into place there, give it a quick little rub. And I'm going to bring in a little bit of our Sparkle Star Polished Silk glitter here. This glitter is beautiful. It's a white, but it has the very, very faintest tiniest little sparkle of like a blue interference color. It's really, really subtle but beautiful. I'm going to bring that in and just burnish that into that exposed adhesive area. There we go. Okay. So you can see just how beautiful that comes across. Get all the extra bit off there, and we'll put this back into our container so there's no waste. There we go. And there's our lid. Okay, so now what I want to do is frame this. So I've used the double stitched hexagons to make a multi-layer frame using the teal on the base with a thinner white one on top. I'm going to seat that right over the top of that, and we'll trim away the excess bit. So mounting foam around the edge. There we go. And we'll put that right on the center. That looks pretty good. I'm going to use my scissors to trim all the excess away. Just keep your scissors at an angle, and you're cutting through two pieces of card down there. So just go slowly around the edge. Okay. One more side here. There we go. So now you've got a really beautiful framed piece. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now I'll bring over my background. I've got the white paper pierced layer, a thin mat of the teal, and then a final white. Let's get all that glitter off there. Pop that into place. Okay, and I'm going to just bring in a piece of mounting foam here to use. We'll attach that. Put our beautiful frame into place, and I'm going to use it this direction. Oh, wait, let's see. Let's go there. Okay, so now I've got a sentiment here. I've done a just a single oval here from the center of the L. I'm going to bring in a little bit of distress ink to tie in that color. So I've got some peacock feathers. We're just going to go around the edge. Just give it a really, really light highlight. Just sort of frames it a bit. Leave that for a second. Sit that in the middle. Okay. Now the sentiment I did earlier, I've stacked a couple on top of them, but I wanted to show you what I did. I just took off the extra little star on the end of the E because it didn't quite fit onto the space I wanted, and I think it actually works just beautifully without that. So I'll give it a quick spray. We'll stack it on top. Make that a little thicker so it's got a little more dimension to it. There we go. Another spray. Put that into the center. There. There we go. So now let's add some flowers around it. So I've cut the smallest size here on the pinwheel flower. I'm going to bring back the distress ink and just do a little bit in the center here on each one of them. Set that to the side. I'm going to bring in my spritzer bottle. And we're going to do a little bit of scrunching with these. Now the distress ink is reactive with water, so it's going to bleed and sort of some of the color will move out into the petals. That's totally fine. Just give it a little pinch going around. And the water just makes the card easier to do that with. There we go. So what I would do is bring in a heat tool. Just give them a quick dry. That should be enough. Your glue won't stick if the petals are wet. So a little bit of glue. Let's see if we can do some more here. In fact, we'll just do 3 of them together. You can do 3, 4, 5, however many you want. And I find it's easiest to bring this in. Just offset them. Give a little bit of scrunching. And put this last one in there, and I use just a stick pin to kind of poke through them. There we go. Give them a second to just sort of set up, putting a little pearl in the middle of them. So you can leave them like that. I've got a couple I've done earlier, so we'll go ahead and use these so you can see how they come out. You can use different sizes and mix them. So bring this one back. And we'll put our flowers into place. I'll take the largest 2, put them around the base here. I'm just going to seat them with a glue dot. I like doing that because you can actually move them around if you decide you want to change them a little bit, and then you can add your glue on afterwards. And if you're happy with how they are on your card, you can add the glue on too. So I've cut several of the leaves from the pinwheel. So we will just bring in some glue here, add some of the leaves around. I've got some left and some right facing ones, as I like to do that. Kind of gives you a natural sort of curvature. And then you can cut these down and make them smaller for the smaller flowers. Put that around there. And this one up here, and that adds a really nice little accent. And I think I'll just add one more leaf coming off from here. There we go. I think that's an absolutely beautiful card. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube. You'll get notifications when we have new videos added.